Glamorgan's unbeaten record in this season's LV County Championship is in danger of being broken after Essex, thanks to a 100 from Nick Brown, kept themselves well on top on the penultimate day in Chelmsford. Brown began the third morning on 42, made out of his side 78 without loss in their second innings, which gave Essex a lead of 195, and the in-form left-hander was raising his bat on getting to a 50 off 92 balls with his ninth four a quarter of an hour into the day. The lead, of course, now into the 200s. Brown excelled in his last game in Manchester, where he scored a century and a 50, and he was once again moving through the numbers with ease to prevent Glamorgan from a much-needed fight back. This was the first time this year in this competition that they were in danger of being outplayed. Brown was moving ahead of his opening partner Liam Dawson, who resumed his knock on 30. This maximum off Colin Ingram got his day moving in the right direction. The man on loan from Hampshire, who was only at the top of the order because of Jake Mickleborough suffering with a back spasm, was at his half-century off 109 balls in the next over, delivered by Graham Wagg. Dawson had struck 6 fours and that 1-6 in a confidence-building knock for the 25-year-old. And on these two openers went, Glamorgan giving Ingram plenty of overs throughout a morning which very much belonged to the home team and to these two batsmen in particular, who batted all the way through the uninterrupted session in which 113 runs were added off 32 overs. This shot by Brown brought him his 17th boundary and took him to within another 4 runs of his 6th century in the first-class game and his 3rd of this summer. Then, on the stroke of lunch, he came down the pitch to Andrew Salter, connected with his shot absolutely perfectly, and cleared the rope to get to 3 figures off 177 deliveries. It had been an exceptional knock, and one which had his team 308 runs ahead by the time the interval arrived, with Brown on 105 and Dawson on 72, made out of a total of 191 without loss. There was nothing Glamorgan could do to stop these two, who took their partnership into the 200s early in the afternoon, the pair batting together for 66 overs in putting on 237 for the first wicket, a record for this wicket for Essex against its opposition, before at last the visitors had something to smile about. On 129, Brown got a tickle on a big leg spinner from Ingram. Mark Wallace with a fine catch at the second attempt behind the stumps. One often brings 2, and in the next Ingram over, Tom Wesley, who'd waited an age to get in, of course, was LBW to one that didn't turn from the leg spinner. Suddenly, Ingram, who's not much more than a part-time leggy, was causing all sorts of problems. Dawson was missed behind, while Ravi Bapara was dropped by Salter off his own bowling. A tough chance, the kind which either stick or don't. Dawson got to 99, and then trying to nurdle the single he needed for his 7th first-class ton, he got a leading edge and was held by the bowler Ingram. Dawson could hardly believe it as he left with a total on 254 for 3, the lead now at 371. James Foster wanted more, and Jesse Ryder was the ideal man to have coming in now for Essex. He struck this early 6, but lost Bapara at the other end for 11 when he was stumped off Salter, who threw the ball in wide when seeing the batsman advance. Essex now wanted to push on before tea, and to that end, Ryder and new man Ryan Tenduscarter brought out all the shots to take the lead beyond 400. The pitch had now become a good one for the spinners, and these two experienced batsmen showed just how to play them. And soon after Tenduscarter hit this 6 off Salter, the declaration came with Essex on 344 for 4, Tenduscarter on 40 and Ryder 41, and in the 4 sessions that remained, Glamorgan were left to get 462 runs to win. Batting out all that time was not going to be an easy job, and Jacques Rudolph could have gone early, but Dawson was unable to cling on to what was a very difficult chance in the slips. That was the only half chance offered by Rudolph and Will Bragg, who gave their side an encouraging start as they saw out the first hour of the day's final session. Only Yorkshire and the Welshmen remain unbeaten this summer, and so there was a lot to play for the visitors, who would have been helped by the fact that this pitch seemed to be improving for the batsmen. But Bragg fell for 22 with 42 runs knocked off. Dawson striking in his second over as the batsman middled a sweep but picked out tender scatter. A little more care and attention would see the others get through to the close, and Aaron Donald, aged just 18, showed a maturity beyond his years. Coming in under such pressure would not have been easy for a man with much more experience than the 2 first-class games played by the man from Swansea, who wanted to make the most of this opportunity. He planted Wesley over the rope for this 6 before stumps were drawn. Rudolph applying his trade well at the other end as these two batted out the time to give their side a chance of a remarkable win on the last day. They go into it with Rudolph on 45 and Donald on 42, the total on 110 for 1, and that means the visitors require a further 352 runs to win. A very exciting last day is possible from here, although Essex do remain the favourites at this stage. The morning session will tell us a lot more as to where this game is heading.